Hello and welcome to the Education on Fire podcast. The place where we share creative and inspiring learning in our schools. Primary Music Special, episode 84. Hello, this is Mark Taylor and welcome back to the Education on Fire podcast, and this our Primary Music on Fire Education Special, and I'm joined today by Carol Aviard.
Hello.
So we are talking really a bit more in depth today about what Primary Music on Fire is, both our roles in it and exactly what you can expect if you wanted to become a member. So we're going to first of all just give you a bit of background about each other, just so that you can understand where we're coming from and the different expertise that we had. So would you like to kick us off, Carol, in terms of what you would do on your sort of day-to-day life?
So, hi, I'm Carol Aviard and I'm a primary music specialist and an instrumental teacher. So I spend about half of my week in the classroom teaching children curriculum music, and I spend the other half of my week teaching piano and woodwind instruments.
So as you all know from the endless times I've told you in terms of what I'm going to be doing, but my life is split into three areas really. I'm a professional musician and play drums and percussion in ensembles and orchestras and do music theatre. The other third of my time is teaching percussion, doing whole class rhythm workshops and samba, and doing private and in school teaching for drums and percussion. And of course the rest of my time I'm here doing the podcast and setting up this Primary Music on Fire. So I sort of have that sort of three-way professional background really now in terms of how my life looks. And so what you can see is we've got different backgrounds, different expertise in terms of what we're doing. And I'm also quite used to producing school performances and things which you can do, other schools have come into. So we produced a World War II concert, I did a 60s concert, and as part of my work with the National Association for Primary Education, we're starting to build up an idea of a workshop and a concert that we can actually start to develop for many schools on a larger scale. So we've got lots of plans and lots of things that we can do, but specifically today we're going to talk about what's inside the Primary Music on Fire membership and exactly what you can expect and how it's going to work. So the best way to start doing that, I think, is to talk about our foundations of a musical school and what it is that we're actually trying to achieve and get across for you.
So we've come up with a document on how to have a musical school, and we've come up with a document, the foundations of a musical school. So we would like every school to be able to do music just part of its day. And we'd like to show you how you could do that, whether you're doing literacy, whether you're doing your topic work, whether you're doing maths, how you can pull music into that. And what we've found out, what people ask me a lot is actually they don't know how to teach music. They don't understand music. And when I explain to them what rhythm is, what pitch is, and how to actually teach a song, of the most basic of songs, people suddenly get the idea of it and go, oh, but I do know how to do that. So our aim is that all schools understand what music is. Therefore, they can pull it into all the areas of the school. And then you can move on from there to having classroom tuition. You can have a school recorder group. You can have a school choir. You can take your children out onto external concerts. You can have internal concerts. And then maybe your children will take up musical instruments and maybe go off into town and county ensembles.
I think it's important to understand, if you think about it in terms of learning maths or learning English, you need the foundations of what you're learning. You need to understand what numbers are. You need to understand how to add 2 plus 2 before you'd start doing multiplication of anything. And this is really what we're talking about. It's understanding that every teacher and every person in a primary school can actually teach music to some degree or another. And we take it down to its really basic element of terms of you can just have the kids sat in a circle doing some rhythm games, and we've got these inside. We can show you the fact that you can do this maybe when they're just standing up waiting to go for lunch. So it can be, yes, as part of a full-on music lesson, but it might just be that you can integrally put it's part of your day every day, that actually it becomes embedded as part of what your school's about. There's a bit of rhythm going on all the time because you've got this game going on, or you might be singing all the time because when you're packing up you're deciding you've got a song that you love that you're going to be doing as well. So it's embedding music as part of what you do, and all of these skills then, as they get added forward, is you start to maybe bring in peripatetic people from your music hub or your music trust, that as that grows, you can expand with it because you've already got the knowledge base that the children have been exposed to as they're going through. And of course, the more children get involved, the more expertise they have and the more confident they feel. Then when you have a group ensemble, whether it's your choir first of all, or whether you've got maybe a little rhythm ensemble, or whether you've got a brass ensemble or even an orchestra, depending on how long you've been doing it and how much tuition you've got going on, then we can start to talk about how you can then make that, give that exposure really to the rest of the school, whether it happens to be a little concert within your classroom first of all, or one person just showing you what they've done, all the way through to music assemblies, to, you know, Christmas concerts, end of school concerts, nativity plays, anything that it happens to be. But you're starting to build on those basic levels, and that's really what we're about. We're not about a lesson plan where you literally follow everything from day one all the way through to the end of your sort of working life, because there are many great examples of those things out there which you can buy into already. We're talking much more about giving you specific things that you can do just to get you going, and then we'll tell you the great resources that are out there and give you those opportunities, but also to support you ongoing what that looks like. So when you've got a question, you can come into the Facebook forum and we can answer those things, so that we've got much more of a dialogue going on really. I think that's probably the key thing to get across.
And it's a good point you made there about the resources. I have my own tried and tested resources that I use time and time and time again, because I've memorized them, because I know how to use them, and I tweak them every time I use them. But I'm very aware that when I buy a new music book, a new song book, for every song in that book, I've got to sit down and spend a good half an hour or so figuring out what's going on in the book, whether that's reading the music, whether that's just listening to the audio track, whether that's learning the words, whether that's figuring out where the harmonies are, where the ostinatos are. And I'm a music specialist, so if I have to sit down and spend half an hour on each song, which I don't really have the time to do, I know you haven't got the time to do that. And I know you would pick up a music book and just go, I don't know what to do with this. And I'd like to be here to show you what to do with that book, to try and take that work away from you, so that you do say, do you know, I can sing that song tomorrow in class, because Carol has basically sung it to me. She showed me how to get started. I can do that. And I'm very much about getting you started.
And that's it. It really is sort of getting the ball rolling, really just giving you, I guess it's almost like hand-holding in terms of just being able to know what you're going to do and how you're going to move forward. And essentially what we're doing is we're taking the fear out of music teaching. That's what we want to do. And we want to give you the step-by-step skills and the ongoing support you need, basically to produce lifelong musical memories for you, your school and your pupils. So we're talking about enabling you to be able to get these skills involved in every class, so that when you then do a performance, when you're thinking about what you'd like your school to look like in a musical environment, you've got all of those abilities, both in terms of yourself, but also what you're able to impart for your children. And so that means that, as well as the singing, as we've talked about, and some of the rhythm stuff, we're going to show you how do you first start to maybe organise some pitch. And we've got some boomwhacker examples in there. How would you like to maybe do some ocarinas or some recorders? We've got the literally first step guides to getting those things going. So even before you actually bought any resource beyond becoming a member of this, you've probably got a year or more's work in various stages that you could actually do. So we also need your help and your feedback. We've come up with a whole range of things which we think are supportive. We've got all of my podcasts from my music in the arts season back in season 4. They're all inside the membership. We've got these resources, like we said, with the ocarinas and the recorders and the singing and samba and all of those things. But we also need to know exactly what you need. So we're looking to do our beta launch, which is going to be on Monday, the 25th of February. We're looking for up to about 20 people to come into the membership, and just make sure that, one, that you can log in and it all makes perfect sense in terms of how all of that works. And we know a lot of you are members of all sorts of organisations, so just so that you're happy that actually it works in the way that intuitively that you'd expect it to be. But also in terms of the way we've delivered things, because we've got some little videos in there, because we've got some audio from the podcast, because we've got downloadable PDFs and downloadable PowerPoints, that actually you're actually able to get across the things that we've provided in a way that's actually really useful for you. And then we can get your feedback. If you want it delivered in a slightly different way, if you think there are other things in there that would be really helpful, then we can actually start to expand that, because this is an ongoing journey. We're here for you. We're going to have some Facebook live videos and some question and answers. So when you ask us a question, we'll be able to tell the entire group exactly what these answers are, so that we can all learn from each other. So, if you'd like to get involved, the best thing you can do right now, if you go to educationonfire.com/primary-music, that's educationonfire.com/primary-music. There you can sign up to the email list there, and we'll give you the first access to join, so that you'll be the first people to be able to get involved in that. And there you can also download our free music games download that we have, which will just give you something that you can actually do very quickly, even if you wanted to do something tomorrow, and sort of get an idea of the sorts of things that we can do. So next week, we're very excited to actually launch on the 25th, as we said, and Carol and I will be back just to give you some of those initial things that you can do once you're involved. Thanks for listening to the Education on Fire podcast. For more information of each episode and to get in touch, go to educationonfire.com. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire.